What's up guys, Greenchili here, and today we're going to be doing a World of Warcraft walkthrough. It's been a while that I have actually done a walkthrough of a game, and the one game I want to do a walkthrough is my favorite game that has been with me since I was a little kid, and that is World of Warcraft. I've been playing this game since Burning Crusade, and it was a really, how do I say this? A really noobish experience. I've been a noob since Pandaria. That's sad. But hey, at least I got to do game content for the first time in that path. What have I been doing? Not a lot. Did no quests, barely. I did some quests, but they're not that really interesting, or I just couldn't read yet. Until I was like 10. Yeah, that's sad. Okay, before we start, I want to show you guys different races. For those who are new to the game, they're curious what makes them special for other races, in case you're not interested in like this guy, which is a Draenei. Alright, here we go is the boring ass humans. The humans, I can safely say, is that what makes them special is that they have increased haste, critical strike, mastery, versatility, which in PvP is really good since stats matter more than your gear in a whole. Yeah, it kind of doesn't matter too much. It's like a slight increase, so this little slight increase on top of that slight increase is really good. So if you're into PvP, you can play as a damn human. Also, if you are lazy, you don't want to do a bunch of dailies at all, or world quests for like, like world content, this is good too because they're diplomatics. So they have the bonus reputation increased. And also they break out of stone with their racial. Well, it isn't as good, but at least you can choose to how to break it out whenever you get in a sticky situation. So they're pretty good. Dwarves, they have stone form, which will definitely break out poisons and all that little goodies. And also increases effect from critical strikes. So whenever they do a critical strike, the damage effect is way more increased than usual. It resisted frost, which is good for like against frost mage and frost DKs. Since frost DKs, they just slow you down, and also they hit pretty hard, so it's just good to resist them, to counter them a little bit if you know what you're doing. And also, if you like archaeology, exploring the world, instead of just like punishing yourself for no reason, you might as well go for archaeology. The reason why archaeology is because, well, dwarves just want to know who the fuck they are, so they become archaeologists. They collect relics, artifacts to learn about their origin, about why they were made and all that shit. I recommend reading novels, fucking why, or just look up WoW and like lazy ass. Ninos, the tree hippies of the video games. What makes them cool is that they can fade in the shadows with their shadow meld, which is good if you want to get away from in PvE situations. Like for example, let's say you pull too many mobs. With shadow meld, you can actually get away from these. You can unaggro these mobs by just simply pushing shadow meld, which will actually allow you to not die at all. Pretty good. And also they're really more difficult to hit, which is good if you're like a rogue or any class that needs a little dodge. And they resist nature, so they're a good counter to rogues and just druids and hull. And some hunters, if they are like a beast mastery spec. Because for marksmen they use arcane and bit shadow, so it's not useful for that. But it's pretty good. They move faster while stealth. Perfect if you're like a rogue or a feral cat. Feral cat is a druid. Druid can turn to cats. Perfect. And also their attacks hit faster if they're a knight, but their critical strike chance is rather big, well, only slightly, due to night. Gnomes, they can escape from any like small traps or speed altering effects if you use the racial, which is escape artist. So it's a pretty good racial if you want to get away from people who are trying to slow you down and trying to gank on you, which is pretty good. PvE it does use for like boss fights and some mechanics, so it's pretty good too. Resist arcane damage, which is a pretty decent counter against like marksmen, but definitely against arcane mages. So you can definitely use it for some kind of counters a little bit. And also, if you're into engineering, like making guns, making some little fun gadgets, and goblin guide down the hill, then gnomes are cool because they have increased engineering skill, which is really good. Next is the Draenei, which that's what we're playing with, which has jewel crafting increase, which is often making little gems, rings, necklaces. Why I say gems, because these gems will be socketed to the armor. It allows the armor to get more extra stats, depending on what kind of gem you made. So it's really good to have it to help your raid if they need a little gems. Or you could just go to the auction house, sell all your little buff gems, and get a crap ton of moolah. You won't regret it. And also, depends on your spec and class, your agility and intellect and strength increased, which is really good. Strength is often used by tanks and warriors. Agility is often used by very fast class like a monk or even a rogue hunter. So they're pretty good for that. Oh yeah, Death Knights can use strength too, so that's cool too. Intellect is often used by healing specs like the monk, who can also play a healing spec. And you also have the casters, which use mana, mage, shaman, priest. So yeah, pretty good. And then the organ, they can move really quickly with their shell, like some shadow running or something. I don't know, forgot. But yeah, they can run pretty fast. It's kind of like a little rogue miniature run ability. And their skinning goes pretty fast. Like if you want to skin really fast and get some mats from like animals you killed, then this is good too, because organs are just naturally animals, so it makes sense. And also they resist nature and shadow. I mean, they're spooky werewolves, and the fact they're all evolve around the whole nature and shit, so it makes sense. Orcs, they get angry using their enrage ability, which allows them to do some extra damage. They resist the stun effects, which is pretty damn good, because you have enemies who are trying to stun you and fucking, you know, kill you slowly or fast if they can pop the cooldowns. And if you want to be a hunter or warlock or a frost mage, they can resist to frost. They can not resist. Ugh. They get damage, do more damage with the help of their pets. Their pets will do more damage, so it's really good for like when it comes to like playing as those specs that have pets. And they don't have a priest, so I can't really say priest because they cannot be priests at all. They're more of a shamanistic race, so it makes sense. Undead, this undead deck has a ratio of its own that can remove fear, sleep, and charm, which is basically has fear and also other things, so it makes it better than the humans. So if you're edgelord, you just want some better goods, this one's a good race to play as. It can also eat corpses of their enemies. Only undead humanoids, as once it does eat their corpse of their enemies, it gains health and mana. Well, health and some other energy if you're not a healing spec or a caster that use mana. So it's pretty good. So the ones I'm saying for casters, like the priest, the mage, the warlock, and the healing spec monk. So you might be thinking like about the specs. I would say just learn your class, and then if we do get a level 10 in the later videos, I will explain how you play these specs and what rules do you have to fulfill. Next one is the Tauren. They often have the Stomp, which is good for in case you're getting overwhelmed and you just want to stun your enemies quickly and run away. And it's also good for like, you know, crowd controlling if you're a tank, which there's plenty of tanks. See? Oh, I see. But the Death Knight, I would say recommend for people who get to know the game a little better. Trolls, Berserk, Regeneration, increased experience, reduce movement paneling effects. Blood Elves, enchant skill increase, mana resources, mana energy. Okay. Well, you can read through this. Right now, we're kind of like wasting a little time. Well, actually, a lot. Fuck. Well, sorry for wasting a little time, but let's get started the game. Damn it. We need to get started. Yeah, it's a lot to know about the game. It can get overwhelming, but once you get over how you're gonna play the game, would you go run on an enemy? Would you go far from an enemy? But if you want to be a healing spec, just test out at level 10 like which healing specs. Look up different guides on different healing specs on certain content. If you want to do raiding, look up a rating guide of a certain class and spec, and see which one is the best or which one is more fun. So there's like different guides, so you can look it up on YouTube and some other websites. Just make sure, like Icy Fanes, and some YouTube channels like Preach Gaming for like raiding, and Banana Raccoon, and there's definitely a lot of different YouTubers you can talk, not talk to them and like watch the video, and you can discuss with people, and maybe the YouTuber might be on that, check out the YouTube comments, and you can pretty much discuss, like, in case you don't know like a certain spec or you're curious what else can they do. Because, they don't explain every single thing, but they try their best to go for the more important stuff. Alright, let's get this started. So what you gotta do is accept the quest by right-clicking on it and accept. But since we're in the starting zone, which every race has their own little starting zone, like the Nihils have their own right here, and so forth, like Orcs have that, Trolls have that, Taurens also have this little town. These are like little starting areas for low-level players at level 1 to 5. Get used to the game. And also you have Northshire, Dunmorrow, Tinkertown, you got Deafnell, Blows get the Sunrider Isle, which makes sense because they never want their hairs touched at all. So, Banarin are everywhere. They're on the top of a giant turtle and they just swim around. Yeah, you never know where the heck they are until they arrive your city. So, what you gotta do is just turn the quest in, and then start your quest. In this quest, there's different types of quests. There's kill, there's killing it where you kill enemies, and there's kill collect where you kill the enemy and collect their items. In this case, this quest requires me to kill enemies, like this. See? Just use your special attack, then you'll have your auto attack in case you're not a caster. And just pick up the item. See, we got a little blood. So you just do this like well, it depends on the drop rate. Obviously this one's 100%. So it shouldn't take that long. See? Just 6 more mobs and we're good. And also if you're curious, the quest log's right here, but also you can open your map. If your map is like full screen, all you do is just push this and it just acts like a quest log, which is pretty good and pretty helpful. So whenever you push if you click the letter M on your keyboard, it opens the map for you. If you click C, you will open the character thing. These little tiles, I got them from achievements, raids, basically different stuff. I'll get to that in the later videos, but that's basically how you play the game.
I don't have a card.
It's just like you do in-game content, but you also do older content that often been used in the past. Back at level 80, 85, and this is like years ago, so it's old, and people wish they could play them again. But again, you can just go by yourself and do them yourself unless they're super hard or just want a little fun on your ult. And also, you can get yourself some transmog. And you're curious what transmog is? Transmog is like a little feature that allows you to customize your character a lot better, or at least in a way of your improvement. So for example, let's say I look like this. If I'm wearing like green or blue gear, because see these names are white, the item has to be green, blue, and purple. Green stands for uncommon, blue are rares, and the purples are the epics. And it has to be like, actually fitting your type for the endgame content. Since monks always wear leather, they wear leather for transmog. Other casters like the mage, the warlock, and the priest wear cloth and only cloth. Warriors can wear any gear, but the problem is they have to wear plate, so their main transmog is plate. And what transmog is where you make your one piece of gear look like another. Let's say you got this mask and it kind of sucks, so you want to wear this thing. So it's cool that you can change your appearance to customize your character a little more. The only downside is that you have to actually get the piece of gear. So I recommend you look on Wowhead guides on different sets for your class.
I need to
So in this video we're just gonna kill a few mobs, and the next video we're gonna continue on with the level 5. I just want to get you guys a little heads up how to play the game. It's a really overwhelming game to play. There's no denying it. So yeah, this is the first, and you might be wondering, how do I play the game? I often just use the regular keyboard turning, but I don't use the up and down, I use the WASD. I have to use all the numbers and the minus and equal thing, and I also put some extra buttons here. So, how to get that little extra buttons on there? All you do is just go on action bars on the interface, on the action bars, and you just click on all these 4 right bars and left bars and all that. And then you got this little thing that pops up, see? And then you can put items right here. And since this is my healing ability, I'll show you how to use this as a Draenei. And this is a racial that actually heals you over time. It's like a little miniature healing item of some sort of like ability, which is good if you're like a raider or a PvPer who is like dying and you need a quick heal. This is what it's used for. So that's just my opinion on how the game is really good. It just takes a lot of practice. So my question is, what do you guys think of the video? It's a kind of awkward kind of discussion because it's my first time making a video of Warcraft, and I haven't really done much in the game other than just Travel running. I haven't done much raiding or PvP. So right now I'm just doing Brewfest to get some tokens, because you get some items like clothing, transmog items. You get some little toys that you can mess around with. For example, I have like plenty of toys, and here's one toy like bubble wand. So you cast like little bubbles just for the fun, and you can just wave around. Just little knickknacks that just meant to be for goofing off. They do nerf some toys because people exploit them, which I'm not surprised. Now let's talk to this Granite Priest, get our damn bag. See? Got a new piece of gear. A nice little brown belt.
You wish to buy? Trade?
Alright, that's the end of the video. So, next we're going to go try and get yourselves to level 1 to 6 as quickly as possible. Hope you enjoyed the video, and see you guys next time. Peace.